Good
Hello.
evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Stephanie Stevens Show, Pronoun TV. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on my channel. You guys have been supportive and great, and I just want to say thank you so much for all of your stories and your great conversations. Today on the show, we're talking about loss, surviving loss, death, either your family member, a friend, a boss, people that you care about, or just people you know, your
Loved
neighbors
ones.
and loved ones, people that have a great influence or have had an influence on your life. So
Yeah.
today I asked two other gentlemen to come in and share their stories. As you guys know, I have lost both of my parents. They're in heaven now, and I miss them. And these other two gentlemen share some of the same stories, and we're all sort of going through some grieving process,
Absolutely.
loss,
Absolutely.
and the fact that we've lost some of our family members. So I've asked Mr. Jason Binder and Mr. Chad Conley to come on the show today
That's
to help
me,
us all
Jason Binder.
talk about how we feel about and what we're going through at this point. So how are you guys doing?
I'm good. Just hanging out on a Saturday afternoon here in Vancouver.
And Steph, the weather's gorgeous here in Toronto, as you know.
Chad, so Jason, how do you identify?
Oh, he, him, that bitch, whatever.
Oh, honey, I'm simple. I'm a gay white male, single. What else? What else? Like, I hate this. I will never say I'm a cis man. I hate that. In South Africa, in Afrikaans, cis means crap or shit or, for lack of a better word, pussy. So when I hear I'm a cis trans or I'm a cis this, it doesn't ring right in my head. I'm a gay white male. That's it. I'm Jewish.
Okay.
I'm proud of it.
Now,
Canadian,
Jason,
South African.
Okay. So, Jason, this is what's going to happen. We're going to try not to talk about how other people feel with their pronouns. We're just going to try to stick to
I'm
our
a
pronouns.
he and him. Chad, what am I?
Okay.
He,
Now,
him.
that's perfect. And like you said, you're a gay white male. That was perfect.
That's it.
Okay. Now, today our show is about loss, about death, how it has affected us. Like I said, both my parents, my mother and father are gone, and I miss them. Chad, I know you just lost your father, right?
Yes. Yeah, I lost him almost 2 months ago now. On the 17th of this month.
Oh, my God.
It'll be on July 17th, I lost my dad.
Just 2 months?
Years. Yeah.
I'm kissing and hugging you.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's horrible.
It's been it's been sort of a really weird, like with this whole COVID thing and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
look at me. I'm 2 months. I couldn't get out of bed at your point when it happened to me.
Well, I don't know if, well, I don't know if you watched my previous show with Stephanie, but one of the things that one of the things we talked about was that I have been in sobriety for about 19 years now. And so I developed a lot of skills and tools and I had a lot of support from a lot of people when my father passed away. And if I didn't have those supports, I don't know what position I'd be in. I'm not saying that life is great right now. I'm just saying that life is manageable right now. And, there's things that have happened on the course of the last couple of months that, it's really sort of like wrecked my day and made me emotional. And one of those was, when I originally bought my car, I was in university, and so I needed a cosigner. My dad was on that loan. So when they called for the service of the car, I brought the service to the garage, and they said that I needed all this stuff done that wasn't included in the warranty. And so I automatically went to grab my phone to call my dad, because my dad is the person that I ask for those types of stuff, because that's like a dad thing. So I just said to the lady, I was like, hold on, I'm just going to call my dad. And then I went, because she looked at me and she thought it was really weird because the bank had already informed them that he had passed away. So they looked at me really funny. And I went, you know what? I need to go home today. And I said, I have to do this another day. So like,
good for you.
It was a bad day. And
Good
then,
for
you know,
you.
a Facebook memory came up the other day where, you know, in a couple of days, it would have been the 9th year anniversary that he got his kidney transplant. So when that came up, it was like this big spiritual message about, you know, I'm so happy. I said, you know, I have to move to my new apartment, but I'm still going to make it to Edmonton to be there for this transplant. So like things like that when they come up, and it's just, I think there's going to be a lot of those things in the first year. Like I think the 17th of every month is just going to suck, and eventually it's just going to get better. And
well,
sorry, Chad.
Yeah.
You know, Chad, you know, I feel what you're saying. And we people here,
I'm nodding,
family members, that we have a lot in common when it comes to the fact that we lost people that we love and we really care about.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, when you lost your mother, you know, when we're children and we're young, there's that bond, that unbreakable bond that parents have with their children. You know, it was weird. I knew that my father was dead. I felt it the moment he died. There was a disconnect.
You told me, yeah.
There was something that happened. I don't know if it was some kind of a woman or just a feline. Do you guys feel that?
Yeah, Steph, what you call a disconnect, when my father actually passed away, I was in my bathroom and I felt sick to my stomach and I fell to the ground and I said, he's gone. He's gone. And I knew it. And
what about you, Chad? Did you feel the same thing? I'll come back to you in a minute, Jason. Did you feel the same thing, Chad?
There was something really strange about, I knew that my father was going to die days before it actually happened. And I didn't know because some doctor called me and said there's nothing we can do. What happened was about 10 days before we finally knew that he was gonna pass away, I had called him at the hospital. And you know, by this point he had been in ICU, or he had just been released from ICU into a room, and because of COVID restrictions, only my mom and my sister were the two designated people to be allowed to visit. So I called him and I said, hey, Dad, and I said, do you want me to come home? And he's like, oh, and he's like, don't listen to your mother. And he was like, I just need the stent replaced in my heart. He's like, you can't stent the stent in my heart, and you can't get in anyways because of COVID, and I'm getting out of here in 5 days, and I'll just pay for you to come home and visit me then. So usually my dad had spent the last roughly like 15 years going in and out of hospitals for various reasons. And but this time that conversation felt slightly different because he was a little bit more defensive than he was previous times, where he would just phone me and be like, I'll be out of here in 2 weeks, don't worry about me.
I'm sorry, my
father,
late father said the same thing.
My father used to, you know, here's the thing is, all of us, when we were on the phones the day he died to our friends to let them know, all of us had the same underlying thing. I remember my brother on every phone call conversation to his friends and my cousins and whatever. My brother's 10 years older than me, and he said, he fucking lied to me on the phone. He told me that everything was going to be okay. And my dad didn't lie to us. What my dad did was my dad created... Spared you. My dad never wanted his children to worry.
Yeah.
So we got condensed versions.
Yeah.
And so, like, when he said the stent in my heart needs to be replaced, he didn't say that it was the one that connects to the transplanted kidney, and that if they remove it, there's a chance the kidney will fail. So these are things that he did not tell us on the phone, because he knew that we would go fucking crazy. And we'd be outside that hospital fighting security guards to get in. And my brothers and I are quite rambunctious. And but something was wrong about that conversation. And then 4 days later, my mother phoned me and said that when my sister had gone to the bathroom at the hospital, my dad said to her, "I'm done with this, and that's all that I have to say about it."
I'm
So
sorry. Your mom said what?
No, my mom told me that when my sister had gone to the washroom at the hospital, my dad told her that he's signing DNR.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
So I knew right then when my mom told me this, that is when I collected my things in my apartment and I packed my car and I drove home to Alberta.
Good for you.
Because I knew that those are things that my dad had never said before.
Sure.
Right? And it didn't matter if, he had, before he got his kidney transplant, he had 10% function on his kidneys and he was on dialysis. He had to do so much dialysis that they actually put a dialysis machine in our house, and he did it at night when he slept. So my dad had made it through that, even though they were like, "You're going to die before that kidney gets into your body." And my dad fought through all of that, and he fought through major heart attacks, and he had been ripped open more times than I could count to have things replaced. And so my dad was a tough fucking customer. He was an old oil patch person. He was like the complete opposite of me. And so like, when I knew that my mom said that, I knew that this was done, because eventually the fluid on the lungs was just going to fucking drown him anyway. So his body started to shut down, and that is what I was starting to recognize by the phone call conversations, because first it was the kidney wasn't doing so well, and then the heart's enlarged, and his lungs aren't doing so great either. So he literally needed 15 different fucking transplants in order to be successful at getting out of that hospital. And at 78 years old, you're not getting nothing transplanted because you're going to die midway through the transplant.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing.
And it's
the reason,
quality of life.
Right. Now, the reason why I've probably taken it so well is because my dad, thanks to my brother, we got almost 9 years of dad time that we weren't expecting to get.
What a blessing.
And so, like, we knew that...
What a blessing.
I knew back in 2004, when he got diagnosed with kidney disease after a near-fatal heart attack that left him on life support, that my dad was on borrowed time. So he never looked after himself. He was a workaholic. His family placed probably 5th in the priority list. And when he finally retired was when he got to do all that stuff that families do. So he traveled around with my nephews to hockey and did all that stuff he probably wanted to do with his sons. So I'm happy that they got that relationship with him. But you could tell at the hospital when he died, my brothers and sisters and I were obviously upset, but the grandchildren were devastated, particularly my youngest nephew, because he was super close with my dad. So at that point, I needed to realize, you know what? I really haven't lived at home since I was 15. In fact, we had trouble finding pictures of me with my dad as an adult because I'd been away from home for so long. And yes, it's a tremendous loss in my world. But my dad was like what I called vacation dad. So like my dad would call certain times during the year, but like my dad didn't call, or even when I was talking to my mom, my dad wouldn't say, "Give me the phone, I want to talk to my son." And so my dad was always like in my life, but he was sort of like in the batter's cage on the field. And occasionally he would come out to help me do something if I was losing on the ball field. So my dad had the intellect. He always intuitively knew when his kids were not doing well. And especially when it was like financial shit, he always just knew. So he would creatively find a way to like give us money. So like my dad was a good dad, but my dad wasn't a present dad. So like, it's the one regret that I think he had is that he wasn't there for his kids as much as he could be. And, like we've done like, so I'm still sad about it, but like,
it's raw.
But like, I'm more concerned. Like I check in on my nephews and my niece all the time. That's who I know is really, really struggling with this loss. And my sister, because she still lives in our hometown, so she had a different relationship with my dad than the three of us did. So so of course, and my mom was married to him for 55 years. And so that's a big loss for her. So, I've been calling her every day. Well, not every day. I try to remember to do it every day. I actually haven't called her this week, and I need to call her today because it's my day off. But
Shame on you.
There's people that are more affected or that are struggling more with this loss than I am at this point. And I have my bad days too. But, you know, people are like, I can't believe that you're already back at work, and I can't believe that you're back at the gym, and I can't believe that you're back living your life. And I went, because the last thing my dad would want me to be is fucking sitting on a couch crying. That's what I do now. My dad would have, my dad would just, I was the first one that got to the hospital the night he died because I happened to be directly in the city when we got that call. So I had 1 hour with him and he was still present. So when the doctors were telling me about what my dad's wishes were, you know, I'm crying. And I could see that my dad, who was, you know, half dead, you know, there were tears coming out of his eyes because I'm the youngest child by 9 years in my family. And so, so he knew that, like, he had kept so much away from me for a long time. Like, I didn't even know he had kidney disease for the first 3 years. It was something that everybody was sworn to secrecy about. They finally had to tell me because he had to leave his job and start going to dialysis. But, like, he found out in, like, I think 2003, and finally, like, the beginning of 2006, my mom finally called me and was like, oh, you know, like, we wanted to know what was going on and we didn't want to tell any of you kids. And she goes, well, actually, we just decided not to tell you until we knew what was going on. And your dad has kidney disease. And I was like, when did he find out this? And she goes, oh, a couple years ago when he had that heart attack.
So, you know, Chadwick, when did your father die? July?
July 17th.
Okay. Now, is your mother still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it's great that you have a parent alive.
Yeah.
To still lean on and have that support. And mainly the fact that it's your mother.
Yeah.
Who is usually the caregiver in the family in the first place.
Yeah.
And
I find she's actually been leaning on us. Like, we're all super adults
as she
now.
Should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's, you know, like, I feel bad for my mom.
You should be there. Who else can she lean on if not her children?
Well, she's got sisters in town. You know, she's got family in town.
It's not the same. Yeah. It's different.
Jason, have you lost both of your parents? And how old were they when they passed away?
Well, it's not that. If I may have a minute, Steph.
Go ahead, we're listening.
My mom was sick for 22 years.
Oh.
And I was primary caregiver. She was rendered mute. So it was touch, feel, kisses on the cheek, kisses on the nose, hand feed her. For 22 years, I bathed her, I washed her, I changed diapers.
So when she died, it was, you were.
It was. I'm not ready. I don't want to talk.
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
so
fine.
hang on though. Chadwick, you'll get this, and Steph, you'll get this. So mommy has just passed away. Mommy. Daddy and I are grieving together. We're a team. And I'm the youngest of 3 macho South African rugby playing big boys. And I'm the fag in the family. Daddy loved me always. I can tell you, everyone, it's not a cliche. My dad was my best friend. He was my biggest champion, my #1 supporter, and my best friend. So we got to grieve together over mommy. Now, Steph, Chad, 8 months. 8 months. My mom's just died. My eldest brother sits me down. He says to me, Jason, do you have any weed or alcohol, or do you have something in the house to calm you? And I said, well, I got many things. I don't know what he's alluding to. He says, I need you to sit down and don't talk. I said, okay. Yeah, all right. Daddy's been diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. He has 2 weeks to live. I said, come on, man. I told Steph this afternoon. That's not funny, dude. Don't even. Why would you say something so cruel? Daddy has a brain tumor, and he's dying. He's dead. He's dying. I did not react well to that.
Nobody would.
Sorry.
You know, Jason.
Go, Seth. Go.
I know. I'm just giving you a minute.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm gonna give you a minute.
Thank you.
I understand pain, and I understand, that we miss the people that we love. I think about my parents all the time.
Every day.
And the fact that my parents were good to me. My parents were good to me. And I'm the baby of the family. And we even though we lived in a Christian household, my parents never talked to us about being gay or this fag stuff, because that's not just the way they were. They just didn't have time for that kind of stuff. They were too busy trying to work and raise their families the best way they knew how. And we were just lucky. We were just very lucky. I'm just going to say, me and my sister and brother were very lucky to have parents like we had, that cared about us and took care of us until the day they died. And even after they died, they still thought about me, the baby, because they knew all those years of me being beat up in Toronto. They thought about me. And I say that all the time, and people go, well, what do you mean? It's like, I don't need to tell you that. That's more of a personal thing. But my parents used to always say to me, you're a blessed child. You just don't know it yet. I knew it after they died. And Chadwick, for me, I was trying to, I understood the disconnect from where you understood what was going on with your father. When you knew he was dying and you were sitting there crying and you were trying to rationalize things in between. And sometimes with death, we can't rationalize because of our emotions.
I'm here, but I need a cigarette. It's too emotional.
Sorry. Our emotions take over. And sometimes, it's good that we're actually talking about this, because even when I talk to my sister,
I agree.
She doesn't want to hear it because she starts crying and acting really strange. And
so my sister's actually my sister's turning 50 years old in a couple of weeks, and I actually had phoned her and I said, you know what, I'm going to fly home for your 50th birthday. Let's have like a family barbecue, whatever. My sister said, I want nothing to do with my birthday this year.
Too emotional.
No, because she was daddy's girl, right? Like my sister was my dad's kid. And the 3 boys were my mom's kids. So, so it really actually, it's, I really feel sad that my sister that my sister was there right till the end, and she was the one that coordinated everything. And my sister's the one that handles all the like paperwork and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And for me, like I feel bad that she's invested so much into that it's, it's sort of like she, like I don't think she's like struggling horribly, but like I really wanted to make a big deal out of her 50th birthday, and
No, she doesn't want
no.
And respect her wishes.
Oh yeah, of course.
Not to cut you off, Chad, but you know what I like about this? I like the fact that the 3 of us are part of the LGBT Two-Spirit pronoun community. Yeah. I say that because when I don't say that, people lash out at me.
Irritated.
So I'm glad the fact that the 3 of us were able to come together and talk about something that's very hurtful
Personal,
and
private.
personal, and
In my
we get to
case,
share it. We
yeah.
get to share it with each other. And a lot of this here, because we're part of the gay community, a lot of the times we get shut down or shut out because we are gay, and because people don't want to listen to us because they really feel that what we have to say doesn't really matter because they think that we're the black sheep of the family. Anyway, I wasn't the black sheep of the family. I was just gay, and my parents, that's who they were. And but I'm just really happy that the three of us, like I said, that are
We're sharing.
part of the same community, we can share and talk about these things.
Right.
And this should happen a lot more in our community. You know, when I asked about the disconnect thing, I just, like you said earlier, Jason, on in our conversation, that mothers, no matter what you did in the world,
the love
will always defend you, even though she know you burnt that building down. She'll be like, "That wasn't my son. Oh no, Chad did not burn down. Chad did not burn down that building. Not my son. Not my son is a Christian. Not my son. He didn't do it. She know you did it.
He doesn't even know how to use matches.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't smoke. How dare you suggest that I smoke?
You know what though? But here is something that I said on Facebook last week. You know, after I had that drama at the protest, and a lot of people like reached out to me and messaged me and said, you know, it's so good that you showed up because if there's one person who can like tell it like it is, it's you. And I didn't do it for myself. I said I grew up in a two-parent household that didn't suffer from socioeconomic issues. And we were, you know, and we were raised to the best of our abilities. And I was like, so I said, I'm the first to admit that as a white person, I have a lot of that. I may not have the most privilege as some straight guy in the world, but I know that I don't get profiled at airports. I don't get profiled on the street. People don't make racial comments towards me. I get prejudicial comments towards me, but not racial. And I was there, and the people who are being most affected by this were the trans and BIPOC community, because they're watching people of color say these hateful things, and they're taking it personally because they feel like, you know what, like if I were an African-American person and I heard an African-American minister screaming hateful things, I would look at him and be like, do you not remember all the things that got said to us growing up? Do you not remember that? Right? And so like, I showed up for that community. And so like, I'm walking past with my friend Norma, who's trans, who's from Lebanon, who has a story and a half that you probably need to get on your show someday.
Well, she's a Muslim and a trans Muslim.
And you want to talk about fucking getting arrested and thrown in jail? She probably has a novel of that to tell you about. And she stood up to those people better than the rest of us did. She got right in his face and she said, I go to church every fucking Sunday, and what makes a good Christian is the love in your heart, not the hate that you spread. And the guy kept calling her sir and everything else, and she finally had enough, and she said, you know what? My pussy cost more than your church.
Oof. Oof.
And she shut that guy down so fast. And you know what? And God bless her, she's a fucking angel. I love her. She lives in my building. She works for Rainbow Refugee, and she is making a difference in the world. And so when somebody tries to degrade her after everything that she put up with back home, she will not have it. And
good for her.
Like, you know what? And so we took those guys on together, and the videos have gone around. And you know what? I probably could have been a bit more classier. I probably didn't need to do finger waving. And you know what? It's not my proudest moment because that's not how I was raised at all. But like, I attribute the way that I'm living my life not just to the stuff that I learned in sobriety, but because I had strong parents who had, you know, I get my work ethic from my dad, and I get my
principles, ethics.
And my mom, I get my strength from her. So she raised 4 kids on her own while he was off gallivanting to go work in the oil fields for months on end. So I learned how to live independently from a very young age. And so like, I attribute that to my parents. And like, I know my dad watches over me now, and you know, I'm hoping that my dad will make sure that I stay safe out in the world. But I know that my father didn't want to see me in the fucking center of the beach getting into it with a cop. Like, that's not what he wants. And so,
not to cut you off,
yeah.
I understand that, and the closeness that you had with your father is something that resonates with you to this day. The fact that you didn't push too hard to where you would end up in more trouble than what it was.
That was the Monday.
Your father taught you. Now, in all fairness,
it's good to giggle.
I just want to say, I want to just say that, when you think about the church in general, we're baptized there, we're married there, and we're buried there. And for any minister to look at any other human being any differently than what he's preaching, he baptizes you, he marries you, and he buries you, and he thinks that you're something different than what he brought, that he first baptized, is, it's shameful. It's shameful that ministers interpret the Bible the way they think that God interpreted the Bible.
That's a very good point.
Here's my call on it, though. Because I don't know about you, Jason, but I know that you were raised in the church, as was I, Stephanie. And you cannot tell me that these guys on the street corners sprouting hate, they're not part of any ordained church. In fact, they had a private rental space taken away from them by the city in downtown Toronto. Unless you can show to me that you have a Master's of Divinity from a theological college. Yeah. Do not tell me that you are a minister.
Yeah.
Do not tell me you are a minister. And more importantly, don't come to me and tell me how to live my life.
I agree.
When your criminal record was brought up into question, like Mr. David Lynn, who was released from a federal institution, but they will not release his charges. And I bet you they're scandalous because of that. But the problem is these people, the last hate minister that was in Vancouver, it turns out he was actually a convicted pedophile. And they get into...
Of course he was.
I'm not saying that David Lynn is or was, but I'm telling you that ministers with Masters of Divinities who are part of ordained churches in this country are not out on the street ministering hate because they are not allowed to do that. Your church board will let you go for professional misconduct, like happened to a minister in Burnaby.
Bullshit.
Yeah. So more and more churches are starting.
Go ahead, Steph.
I'm trying. I really don't want to get into the religion part.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to connect the religion with grief.
Right.
And the fact that ministers should be supporting everyone in their time of turmoil, no matter what it is. The job is to support us in our time of turmoil.
Right.
The job is to serve the community.
Right.
For whatever the needs are, not to preach to the community about how you should live.
Amen.
The job is to heal the sick, take care of the poor, and take care of the grieving people going through whatever they're going through. That is a minister and a pastor's job.
Right.
And I think we become too commercialized for when ministers are making more money than most companies in the world. When did a minister start making more money than... I thought they were supposed to put that money in the community.
Absolutely.
How do they drive around in a Lamborghini and fly a helicopter?
Right. Those mega churches are terrible.
When there's so many people suffering on the street, dealing with what we are dealing with today, with loss, death, pain, just uncertainty in the world, no money, no places to live, no respect, no nothing. And here the ministers are talking about something that they shouldn't be talking about. They're talking about sex. When did you know a minister passes all the other stuff to talk about sex?
And have we not
shouldn't they be
seen
talking
more and
about,
more acceptance?
how can we get you?
Have we not?
Jay needs a turn.
Yeah, Jay, go ahead.
I'm a Jew. I'm Jewish. I belong to a
Mhm.
synagogue, a shul, which is a church, a temple, a mosque, whatever. And your priests and your fathers are our rabbis.
Right.
Okay? So I know Steph doesn't want to go into too much detail about religion, but this is important.
Okay.
Just bear with me. When my mother passed, I believe Christians, what do? You have a mourning period. How long is that mourning period?
So usually it's about,
You,
if somebody dies on a Tuesday, usually the funeral will happen by the Saturday.
Okay.
yeah, you have to have them in the ground sundown by Saturday. Saturday sundown, I think you
Jews
have to
need
have
to
them in
be
the
buried
ground.
in 48 hours.
True story. I had to fly back for my old boss's funeral 2 days after he died. But
When
what
my
I
mom, please,
oh sorry.
when mommy passed, my dad and I couldn't handle anything. My brother, eldest brother, 55, 56 years old now, he took care of everything. My dad and I just said, tell us where to go and what to do, and we'll be there. That's it. We can't handle anything else. Now, here's something interesting. Let's leave it at that. So it's called the Shiva House. It's the mourning house. Jews have 1 week of Shiva, mourning. We do prayers, we do this, we do that, A, B, and C, similar to what you guys do. Now, I'm running around the house with my youngest nephew, and he must have been 17, 16 at the time. And I'm like, Uncle Jason needs to smoke some weed. And he's like, yeah, come into my room. Let's do a bong hit. My little nephew got me through this. But hang on, it gets better. It gets better. So I excused myself from the upstairs, the morning. Jason, the rabbi is looking for you. The priest is looking for you. Not my father, the priest, the rabbi. I said, okay, I got no interest in talking to this man about anything. Cut a long story short. You know what he told me? Steph, swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. He says, we have a lot of things in common, and I think you and I should talk. And I said, what, me and you? I said, talk about what? Is it the death? Is it the gay thing? Is it the drugs? Is it the alcohol? I don't want to talk to you, Rabbi. With great respect, give me some space, sir. With all due respect, you know what this fucking rabbi priest, you know what his claim to fame is? He used to be addicted to crack cocaine. I swear to God. He was
probably my best friend.
You want to talk to me? I want to get advice from a fucking ex-junkie. I'm enough of a junkie, and I don't do crack. I don't. But I like to have a good time. Leave it at that. And he's looking for. He's searching. I said, with all due respect, nah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, not with the. I would not.
A crack smoking rabbi.
I couldn't do it.
Are you kidding me?
But here's the point that I wanted to make
isn't that funny though, Steph?
Okay. Go ahead.
Is that churches are starting to become more and more accepting of the LGBT pronoun community. And that is why I know what is happening out on that street is bullshit. And so
not those big mega churches. They hate us.
Oh,
they
those mega churches are not churches, they're cults.
I agree.
Yeah. If you're raising millions of dollars and you're flying in a private jet, you're not a man of the word, because every minister that I know, they
people,
modest. Humble and living a life of modesty and essentials. So not
driving Rolls Royces or Bentleys.
No. And flying in private jets is not a thing.
Are you kidding me?
And
are you mad?
Are you? And the drama on the headsets on the front of the churches, where it looks like they're filming a soap opera, that is not religion. It's
almost like a Bollywood movie, choreographed.
And so, unfortunately, when you see these hate ministries doing these cross-Canada tours, they're pandering to a small group of people, of weak-minded individuals.
Thank you. You just said it. I wanted to say stupid or weak-minded is...
Weak-minded
gotcha.
And insecure and looking for a reason to be casually racist, be casually homophobic, be casually prejudicial. And so those are, I don't need to react to that situation, but when it's brought to my front yard, literally, I will...
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way to go and protest them. There's millions of other people who will do that.
I know exactly what you're saying.
But if I'm walking down the street in my neighborhood and you get in my face with my friends,
shove it in my face.
Yeah, because I don't go shove my lifestyle down anybody's throat. Right.
No.
So these are, you know what? And this is not the people. It's like with where everyone's saying defund the police immediately. Now people are starting to hate on religion as a whole completely because of these gentlemen. Now, here's the thing: every sort of avenue in life, there's always going to be bad people, and that includes people who present themselves as disciples of God, which they're not. I want Jesus to come back and say, no, that's not what I meant. And there's also going to be bad policing, and there's going to be, but there's also ministers who are truly loving people and want to help everybody. And it does not matter if you are gay or straight or trans or you're gender fluid or whatever your pronouns are. And there's also going to be police
Chinese, Indonesian, Indian.
Right.
Aren't we all children of God? Sorry. Are we not all children of God? All of us.
Yes.
Chad, in case you couldn't see, Steph's black. I'm white. I'm Jewish. You're white. You're a Christian. I don't believe in Jesus, but I believe in God. And aren't we all his children? Simple question, yes or no?
I believe in a higher power. There is no name to it.
You know what, Chad? I don't want to. Steph doesn't want us to get into religion.
Yeah,
but I know what you're saying, and
you know what? You don't have to be religious.
Let me just say this.
Yes, Stephanie.
Chad, when your father was dying, now how receptive was the church? Was the hospital with? They have the bereavement programs.
So
sorry,
Steph,
sorry, everyone. When your father is in hospital and dying, that's palliative care.
Yeah.
Okay.
Palliative care handled everything. Here's. So my father grew up atheist, and he was atheist. And so when my dad died, we actually had no service at all. We were sent to church as kids by our mothers. So my father left in his will, I don't need my children mourning my death. I don't need them sad in a group of people. So just get me cremated and throw my
Be done with
ashes
it.
at a rig site. Yeah. And so I can see where my
fuss.
I can see where my dad's head was, but I believe that he has 4 children who would have liked that moment of closure. I don't know. I can't speak for my brothers and sisters, but as for bereavement programs, I didn't inquire at the hospital to see if there was any grief counseling or whatever, because he died in a different city from where I live. And, you know, like I work in, I pretty much am a therapist full time at my job. And so I know how to apply those skills to my own life. And,
okay, well, can I just say this then?
Yeah.
How are you now? How are you now, Chad? And then I'll go over to Jason. How are you now? I mean, we know, even me, I feel the loss every day. And sometimes I just break down and cry. And I just think, what is happening here? Where are my parents? Why aren't they here to help me figure all of this out? But
so
then,
may I jump in?
Just 1 minute. Then
of course,
I get a grip on myself, and I think they would want me to figure it out. They would want me to be the woman or the man that I think that I am and just figure it out, because they raised me that way.
They raised you well.
To figure it out.
So,
yeah.
as I
wanted just to know, Chad.
Oh shit!
Steph's
mic went
freezing a little bit.
Okay. You have no sound. You have no sound. Oh, there we go. So, there's 7 stages of grieving a loss of an immediate loss, and it takes more than a week and a
There's
couple days.
more than 7 too. I mean, that's
so. When it first happened, I was just so shocked.
Don't tell me how to grieve. Sorry.
I was so shocked because I was like, that's weird, because like he just told me last week that he would be home in a week and now he's dead.
Oh.
And so there was like this surreal moment where like I'm like, oh, I have no father now. And now the other day I realized, I was like, oh, at 42 years old, I now come from a single parent household.
Hey, Chadwick, how about being 37 years old and being orphaned and realizing when my father was dying in hospital, the eldest brother, Howie, said, "You're not gonna die because I'm too young to be an orphan at 50-odd years old." But then, Steph, you asked a specific question. You asked, how does one cope, or what are we doing right now, whatever. Excuse me. Yesterday, out of the blue, really, yesterday, I called my uncle. My uncle is my father's younger brother. So he's also 80-odd years old. And I just phone him and I say, "Hi, Uncle." "Oh, hi, Jason. How's it?" We're South African, so that's where that's the accent. "Hello, Jace. What's going on?" I said, "Uncle Ep, Uncle, I don't know what, man. I really am feeling it." And he knows. And I know it's not fair for me to burden him with my issues because he's missing his brother, as I'm missing my father.
When did your dad pass away?
It will be 9, coming on a year and a half.
Yeah, so it's a recent thing for you then too. So
I bawl. I am a crier, and I wail sometimes. And I wake up some mornings and I go, "Where are you?" Like. It's still surreal almost.
But now there's like, for me, it's a fear thing that like, because like they say, once you lose your life partner, i.e. after 55 years of marriage, like you said to me, 8 months after my mother died, or my father passed away. And so now my biggest fear is like, well, what's going to happen to my mom? How am I going to react to that? Because like, I went from like, you know, in spring I had 2 parents, in the summer now I have 1. Right?
Chad and Steph, my dad died within 9 months of my mother dying. So as I'm slowly, Daddy and I were grieving together, and slowly we're coming to terms with it, and then boom, he's dying, he's dead. And I have no one. My brother's got his wife and my 3 beautiful nephews. And who do I have? Do you know what I mean? I have friends. I have close friends that would spend the night with me, comforting me. But you really want family. You do. You crave it. And I won't lie to both of you. It's a fucking smack in the face. I was talking privately with Steph earlier today.
Important.
Sorry, honey, we can't hear you.
Jason, it's very important to have your family, because there's nothing.
Chad, can you hear her?
No, her mic is completely
Steph,
not.
I wasn't saying anything.
Honey, we can't hear you, sweetheart. I love you, but we can't hear you. You look good, but
You look fabulous today.
I think what I heard, Steph, you know, and forgive me, I know Stephanie Stevens as Larry. Okay?
Sometimes.
You were saying we need family. Family is key. I think that. No, honey, sorry, no. Chad?
What?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Stephanie's.
Steph, go. Well, speak. Steph, A, B, C.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I will. We're waiting on you.
You hear me now?
No, we can't hear you, honey.
No.
Okay.
What's going on with your mic?
I don't know.
Maybe refresh something.
What a new contraction.
You know, it's 2020 and we can't have a 3-way. Take that any way you want. Right?
That's hilarious.
Hey, I'm a funny guy.
Okay, hold on. I can hear you guys perfectly.
Yeah,
you're
you sound like this.
Your internet connection, there's something wrong with your internet connection because it's dragging your audio.
Are you on a laptop or a PC?
Okay. No, I moved to my phone because it works better.
I think you need to refresh something.
Well, why don't we wrap it up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Closing thoughts?
You heard me, Chad?
Yeah, I heard you. We can wrap it up. I have to go to the bathroom.
You could take us with you.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Lovely to have this intimate chat with you.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. And I just want to say thank you to my guests, Jason Binder and Chad Conley.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure.
And, you know, I hope we learned something, that family is key and that we all have the right to grieve And don't feel ashamed that you have to cry or you miss
I
your
cry,
folks.
honey. I
It's
cry
just,
all the
it's
time.
just something that's natural. And, you know, I wish we had more friends and people that could support us. And hopefully, with the way things are going now, we will make a change and a difference and love each other and respect each other. It's going to take a long time and a lot, but we can always hope and pray that we will get along and be blessed. And we will never forget the people that brought us into this world, our mothers and our fathers, and the people who cared about us and took care of us and taught us what they could. And hopefully we've learned something amazing in life, how to share love and how to be patient and kind and compassionate. And with that, I just want
Treat
to say
each
thank
other
you.
well.
Yeah, treat each other well.
To quote
Absolutely.
Bob
Thank you,
Marley.
Chad.
To quote Bob Marley.
Take
One
care,
love.
guys.
One love.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Steph. I'll talk to you soon.
He's
All
dying
right,
to
bye,
go to the loo.
everybody.
Bye.
Kisses, kisses.
Bye.
Okay. Is